Good morning, dear students. Now, today we will start with the second half of the organic compounds, and it is about the purification of organic compounds. So, second half consists of purification of organic compounds, qualitative and quantitative analysis. Right? So, whenever the organic compounds are prepared in the laboratory, they are not pure. They underwent different reactions. So, there are certain impurities present in it as well as byproducts present in it with the main products. So, organic compounds are not completely pure, and that is why its purification is necessary. So, to purify them, many purification methods are applied, and which are as follow. So, purification of organic compounds are done by many different methods, and the first here we are going to discuss is filtration. In your younger classes, you have learned about filtration, right? With the help of the filter used as a cloth, right? As a sieve, filter material, and here we are going to do the filtration with the help of filter paper. So, the principle of it is used to separate a mixture of insoluble solid and a soluble solid. When two types of solid are mixed, and if one is insoluble and the other is soluble, then this method is used. For this, we need a clamp stand, right? A glass funnel, a beaker, and a filter paper. So, in a clamp stand, we can fix the funnel, and beaker is kept below it in a stand, and here you can see a dotted line I have shown, which is the filter paper which is kept in the funnel, right? And filter paper is used for the filtering, that is for the separation. So, if as we say that if we have taken sugar and sand, both are solid. Now if we add water to it, what will happen? Sugar will dissolve and sand will not. So such type of solids, which is one is insoluble and one is soluble, then such substances are filtered. Now when we will pour this solution of sugar and sand from this funnel, what will happen? The sugar which is solved in the water will come out as filtrate and is collected in the beaker, and the insoluble substance which will remain here in the filter paper, that is called residue. Filter paper are the special paper which are having the pores in it, so they can allow the solution to get filtered, right? Different types of filter papers are available, having the small pore, very tiny pore. So accordingly, the particles which is to be filtered, according to that the filter paper is used. So this filtration method is very simple and very slow also. So to make the process fast, a special filter paper is used. I just told the different types of papers are available, and the special filter paper which is used is called fluted filter paper. Fluted it means which is having many fold, right? So the fluted filter paper has many folds, so due to it surface area increases, because when it is folded many times and it is very thin and having many pores, and when many folds are there, that means the surface area is increased, and if surface area increases, then the filtration becomes very fast. So this is the paper which is used to make the filtration fast. Now filtration can also be used to separate. This was a general example which you have learned in your younger classes, but now we are talking about organic compounds. So filtration can also be used to separate naphthalene and urea, as well as anthracene and benzoic acid. Now let us see how the filtration takes place for naphthalene and urea. Naphthalene and urea, when dissolved in water, because both are solid, so how to get separated? To separate them, we will have to dissolve them in water. So When we dissolve naphthalene and urea in the water, naphthalene will remain insoluble in water and urea will get soluble, it will dissolve in water. So now it is easy for us to separate, as naphthalene will remain as residue and urea will come out in the beaker as a filtrate. So as insoluble naphthalene, when passed through, that means the solution of naphthalene and urea, when passed through this process, in this filter paper, naphthalene will remain as a residue because insoluble, and filtrate. Filtrate, that means water in which urea is dissolved, will be collected in the beaker. Now, urea will be collected as filtrate. Then on boiling, pure urea is retained due to evaporation. So what happened? Whatever the filtrate is collected, it is then boiled. So the excess water will be evaporated and urea will be retained. Thus, the pure urea is obtained. Now let us see what takes place in anthracene and benzoic acid. In anthracene and benzoic acid, the normal water which was used for naphthalene and urea is not used, because in normal water, anthracene and benzoic acid are not soluble. That means both are insoluble in normal water. So to dissolve anthracene and benzoic acid, hot water is needed. And now if hot water is needed, that means in hot water both are dissolved. So at the same time, when the hot water is normally allowed to pass through this, then because of the atmospheric condition, it may get cool, and as soon as it will get cool, the benzoic acid along with anthracene, it will also remain insoluble. Then separation of benzoic acid is not possible. So here, to maintain the temperature of the solution, jacketed funnel is used. Jacketed, right? What happens when we feel very cold? We wear jacket. That means on our body we put one more cover. So funnel, the specialized funnel is prepared with the special cover on it, insulated layer, that is called jacketed funnel. So on this type of funnel, insulated material is imbibed and a jacketed funnel is prepared, which is used for such type of filtration, so that while pouring the solution, the jacketed funnel will maintain the temperature, and in that hot water, anthracene will remain insoluble and benzoic acid will get soluble. And anthracene is collected as residue in the filter paper, and benzoic acid along with the hot water will be collected in the filtrate, right? And so the one specialized apparatus here you have to keep in mind, it is the jacketed funnel, right? Now there are certain substances which are dissolved under the reduced pressure. In organic compound, different compound are filtrated in a different way, as we have explained here, with normal water, with hot water. Now certain substances are there which are dissolved under the reduced pressure. So for it, a special apparatus, a pump, suction pump is used to make the filtration under reduced pressure fast. Now here also a special funnel is used, because pump is to fix along with the funnel. So in a normal funnel, pump is not able to fix, right? Where to fix? Suction pump. Suction, that means which reduce the pressure inside the funnel and will try to drag the material from it. So for it, a Buchner funnel is used. Buchner funnel is a special funnel which has an opening from where a suction pump is attached, right? And then this funnel is used here for the filtration purpose. So a funnel which can be attached to the suction pump as shown in figure. is used, so pump can reduce the pressure and filtration process will be fast, because from here the suction pump, it will try to suction, that means it will try to drag the filtrate, and because of the pressure from here, the pressure from here will be reduced and the filtrate will easily pass and it will pass very fast. So keep in mind the normal funnel, jacketed funnel and Buckner funnel are the three different funnel used for the filtration, and even normal filter paper and fluted filter paper are also used as per the requirement of the organic compound. The next method of the purification is recrystallization. Actually, in your younger classes, you have learned about filtration, crystallization, evaporation, right? But here, with little more advanced apparatus, because substances are also now advanced, organic, inorganic, complex salts and all. So, these methods are now revised and advanced. So, recrystallization. This process is based on the difference of solubility of organic compound and the impurities in the suitable solvent. So here also, what is the principle here? That when there is a difference of solubility of organic compound, that means the one is easily soluble, the other is soluble but sparingly, that means partially, and even the impurities present in the solvent, if it is there, then the solubility of the compound because of the present impurities in the solvent will be less. So if such type of things takes place, then recrystallization method is used. Recrystallization. So word is itself tell us that once the crystallization process will take place and it will be again recrystallized. So it is taking place in various steps, and the first step is preparation of the solution. So the impure sample or the impure substance is first converted into the powder form and then it is dissolved in the solvent to make the solution. So powder is to dissolve in the solvent to make the solution in the first step. So the next step, it is very important to take proper solvent. So the second step is choice of the solvent. The solvent should be such that the organic substance should be sparingly soluble at room temperature. Whatever the organic substance or sample is there for purification, so solvent should be selected in such a manner that that particular sample should sparingly soluble at room temperature. That means at normal temperature, they should not completely get soluble, sparingly. That means partial. Somewhat it will get soluble and somewhat it will not. And slowly and gradually it will be dissolving. And appreciably soluble at higher temperature. And if temperature is high, then they should be dissolved in a more amount, appreciably. That means the thing which we can say that it is more in amount, right? The second characteristic for the solvent is the solvent should crystallize on cooling, and a solvent should be selected in such a manner that as soon as it is undisturbed and kept for cooling, then it should crystallize, right? Crystallization should take place. The third characteristic is the solvent should not dissolve impurities, and if we are purifying the sample, then along with the sample the impurities should not dissolve. Otherwise that type of solvent is not for proper use, because we will not get the proper organic compound or pure organic compound. Because why we want purification? We want to remove the impurities. Now if in the solvent impurities also will dissolve, then there is no chance to get pure organic compound. So this characteristic of a solvent is also to be taken in a consideration. Then the solvent should not react chemically with the substance. Now even the solvent is to be chosen in a proper manner, that it should not get reacted with that chemical, right, with the organic substance. Otherwise purification will be aside and some new products will take place. For example, to separate sugar and salt. If sugar and salt is mixed, now see here, sugar and salt, both are solid, and when they are dissolved, if they are dissolved in water, what will happen? Both will get soluble. So, to separate sugar and salt, if selection of solvent is water, can we say it is appropriate? No, we can't. Why? Because sugar will also dissolve, salt will also dissolve. So, we won't be able to separate them. So, instead of water, some other solvent we should select where either one will remain insoluble and one will be dissolved. So, ethyl alcohol should be selected in which sugar will be dissolved but salt will not. And thus, the solvent is chosen. So, that is the second step. The third step is filtration of the solution. Now, powder formed is already done and it has to be dissolved in the solvent to make the solution. So, in second step, solution is chosen and according to that solution is prepared. So, now filtration of the solution will come. So, here when reaction of sugar and salt with ethanol will take place, then it will be little warm solution. So, the hot saturated solution from the second step is taken in which one component is soluble and the other is insoluble. So, they can be filtered. Thus, on filtration, the filtered will be soluble substance. Whatever the filtrate will be collected in the beaker, it will be the soluble substance, and for here it is sugar. And solvent. Sugar and solvent both will be coming as a filtrate, and residue which is left in the filter paper. Here the residue is salt. So that was about the next step. Furthermore step is about crystallization. Now the filtrate which is collected in the beaker, as it was hot saturated because of the ethanol alcohol reaction with sugar, so it will be little warm. It is exothermic reaction. So that hot filtrate is allowed to cool slowly undisturbed in a beaker. It is kept aside and it is not touched. Let it cool naturally and cooling take place until the crystals reappears. Right? So that is the crystallization. But here what happens? Now filtration is to be done by using Buchner funnel. So Buchner funnel is a funnel which is having suction pump. So that pump will drag the filtrate very fast and filtration process will be very easy. The crystals appeared are filtered again. Whatever the crystals are appeared here, they are again filtered in the fifth step through the Buchner funnel, and the crystals, here the sugar, will remain in the filter paper as a separated compound. Sometimes here what happens, the crystals which are in the filter paper, they appears little in different color or they appears with little color. That means still some impurity is there. So again the crystal appeared is to be filtered as they are not pure, and it is dissolved again in the ethanol, and in that solution of ethanol and the filtrate, a small piece of animal charcoal is added which will absorb the color and then again is cooled to get crystals, which is further refiltered through Buchner funnel to get pure crystals. And thus this process, in the last step you can see twice crystallization and twice filtration took place, so it is called recrystallization. Now here animal charcoal. What is animal charcoal? That means the bones of the animals, when they are burned, they becomes the black charcoal, and the piece of that charcoal, bone charcoal, that is animal charcoal, is added in the solution, which acts as a surface adsorbent. And as it is surface adsorbent, it will absorb. Sorry, here I have written absorb, but it's not absorb, it is adsorb. Right? So, adsorb, it is to take material on its surface, not within. Right? If I will take a plug of cotton or a knob of a cotton, right, and if I will put it in a water or a solution of ethanol like this, then what happened? That cotton knob which we have kept in the solution, it will absorb completely the solution within the pores. But if we put the animal charcoal, that means the bone charcoal, then it will not absorb, but it will adsorb. That means the solution will remain on the surface of the animal charcoal. It will not be penetrating within the charcoal, and thus the impurity, that means that color, is adsorbed and the crystals become completely pure. This complete theory of adsorb and adsorbent you will learn in surface chemistry in 12th standard, in which more verification of the compounds also you will learn. Our sugarcane juice, it is yellowish in color, but sugar, you see, at last it appears as completely yellow. White. That yellow color is adsorbed by charcoal powder. While preparation of the charcoal powder, sugarcane juice at last is passed through the charcoal powder. So whatever the last remnant color of the sugarcane juice yellow is, it is adsorbed by the charcoal powder and the sugar crystal appears as white. So that complete theory of adsorb and adsorbent, it is there in 12th standard surface chemistry. So there we will learn it. Right? By the time. Thank you.